obviously you've been in very unconventional relationships,
Yep.
you know, obviously very publicly on that side. So kind of talking about just like navigating that and then like tips and tricks you have for people. Obviously you've been in an open relationship, you've been in a monogamous relationship. So talk about the open first. Obviously I know that that's hard for people to wrap their minds around, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing that you talk about that I love hearing about is that how much, don't think people go into it knowing how much it shows yourself about yourself on that side. So just kind of talk a little bit about that process and what that taught you being in an open relationship, kind of your takeaways, I guess, from that.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, I look back at that and it was like going into ceremony every single day, you know, and constantly learning and constantly analyzing and doing all of that. But really, as you said, my biggest thing that came out of that was how much I was able to meet myself and realize how much I was closing myself off to because I was too afraid to deal with emotions. From being hyper jealous in past relationships to keeping the peace all the time to not wanting to feel like I could cry or anything, that wasn't a safe place to do that. Being in that type of relationship for me brought that to the surface because there was no way that I could have, I feel like, made it through that relationship without going through, you know, those dark nights of the soul to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And so really it just showed me what type of relationship do I want? It gave me huge communication skills, which I don't think I would have had the opportunity to get because it's a very specific place to be in.
Yeah, for sure.
And it also, this is one thing that I know we've talked about this too, but this is also one thing that people are shocked to hear when I say this. Open relationships made me a better friend to girls.
Yeah.
I went from being the guy's girl and always hanging out with the guys. I grew up with my dad to brothers. I was just comfortable within that. And I had this idea that, you know, I couldn't trust women. And it was unsafe for me to be in those relationships. They were competitive. People were trying to change me. I had to be a certain way. I didn't want that. And so being in that open relationship container forced me to have challenging conversations with other women because there were other women in their relationship from time to time. And everyone is a human being. Everyone has emotions coming into that. And it allowed me to go from, I'm still a guy's girl for sure, but now I have such a big group of women that I can trust and feel seen and heard and supported by that was probably one of my biggest takeaways was the ability to get, you know, deep and be safe around women.
Them, How do you feel like, how did you navigate then with taking away that, like, it's like you said, obviously having relationships with other women was always the competitive side of it, you know, because I feel like that's obviously something in our culture we deal with every day, right? As a woman, you're always comparing yourself. You're always, you know, seeing what they have that you don't have and all. So how did you navigate that? I mean, did you have those conversations just with those women or did you just work on your own confidence and at that point just be like, I am me and no one else can be me and just own that side of it? How did you navigate that? Did you just have those conversations with them about that?
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of conversations. We sat down and had a lot of hours, a lot of long conversations, analyzing it, you know, and taking responsibility for where I could have done better, where my blind spots are. I'm also, you know, doing therapy at the time with other people because these are things that I need to work on. I can't just solely have my partner or my partner's other partner there to unpack all of my emotional baggage. Yeah. I need someone else there to help me as well. Yeah. So we had conversations all the time. And I think just as I was, you know, becoming more confident in the woman that I was, it really helped, you know, build the confidence in the relationship as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's beautiful.
And that's something that I honestly like take into relationships today. Like those conversations, like they don't have to be long hours and hours, but being able to just tell a girlfriend of yours, like, hey, you know, I'm feeling this way, you know, and just like
getting it out there,
just getting it out there always brings the relationship closer. And if it doesn't, then it's like, is that a real friendship that you want to have?
Yeah, that's a great point to have. That's honestly, that's just a great point. I feel like that touches on a lot of things on that side. So I'd like to talk. So then obviously now you were in a monogamous relationship after your open relationship, right? Yeah. So how did you navigate that? And what I know I love that you respect that. You always say like, I don't say one is, you know, for everybody and on that side of it. But then how did you navigate, what was that transition from going from being in an open relationship to then being like in a monogamous relationship?
Yeah.
Was there different challenges to go back to that then?
Of course. I mean, you know, it's I think every type of relationship comes with its own challenges. Obviously, for sure. And sure. As you said, I'm not a proponent for one type of relationship. I am not here to tell you how to love or who you should love or how, like anything like that. Just do whatever makes you happy. And if you are in a relationship with multiple people, everyone's agreeing to it, everyone wants to be in that relationship, go for it.
Yeah,
I don't care, you know? And for me, I think being in that open relationship container was much harder than I wanted to probably admit, right?
Yeah.
And really like coming out of that I think I'm still learning some of that within myself. I knew coming out of the open relationship that I was like, I am going monogamous for sure. Yeah. Like, let's go, babe. And so it's interesting. I found someone who was the complete opposite of my ex-fiance, Aubrey. Because that felt really safe to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it was beautiful, amazing. Like he's such a good guy. And we went into this monogamous container. And it's interesting because he grew up really religious and comes with his own mindset and beliefs around that, that parlay into relationships and how they should be done. Of course, he meets me, which is the complete opposite side of that. Like, good luck, buddy.
Right. Have fun.
Yeah. Which I think was a perfect combination for us because he taught me a lot, too, about being in a monogamous relationship and, like, what that feels like. And so we were just able to go back and forth and learn from each other in that way. And, of course, monogamy always has its challenges, you know, just like open relationship does. Yeah. But truthfully, for me at that time, it was easy. It was a cakewalk for me because it was like, oh, wait, I can take a deep breath right now. You know, like
always having to be on guard almost.
I didn't have to always be on guard. There wasn't always a conversation that needed to be had. I didn't have to wonder if there was somebody else coming in at any sort of amount of time. And also just being able to close my own self off to the potential of other partners was really nice.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like there's a part of me that at that time was really like chasing love and like chasing that in other people. And now I've learned that that's not what I want to do. I don't, you know, it's not love if you're chasing or running away from something.
Great point. Yeah.
So it was a really big eye-opening experience for me. And I don't know what my future holds. You know, I think monogamy for me is where I want to be. Yeah. That being said, talk to me in 10 years, that might change. Might be different. You know, I'm okay with changing my mind and like I said, following my own happiness.
Yeah.